So if you haven't heard, the Icebreaker from Destiny 1 is now back with the new season of The Revenant, or whatever you want to call it. Now hold on. I know, microtransactions guys, it sucks. But if you somehow do have the season pass and the dungeon key, you can get the Icebreaker from Vesper's host. Now today we're going to be talking about a cool build that I've made using the Icebreaker. This is going to be in particular for Warlocks, but I could make a Hunter one that works in the future. Okay, let's start off with the weapon's trait, Icebreaker. Defeating a target with this weapon causes them to explode. However, on top of that, precision final blows or shattering a frozen target instead triggers an ignition. So essentially what's happening is when I hit the goblins with a non-precision blast, it still starts, a giant Icebreaker explosion, but it's not as effective as you can see with this precision shot. It blows up a lot more and causes an ignition. The same can be said for the stasis crystal. When I freeze a target, it blows it up. Here's a better example of that. When the guy I freeze, I shoot him with the Icebreaker, precision or not, he blows up and he does a lot more damage to the guys surrounding him. Now if I hit him for a precision shot, it does even more damage and it also causes a larger explosion. Now, its actual exotic perk is no backpack. Final blows or assists with any other weapon or ability have a chance to create ammo for Icebreaker. Defeating powerful combatants will create multiple rounds. So basically what this means is you have infinite ammo. Killing shit will give you ammo back and therefore you have no backpack. Now for its catalyst, Icebreaker. I guess they got lazy with the naming. But basically what it does is landing a hit on a slowed or frozen target has a chance to return the round to the magazine. And this is where our build comes into play. Starting off with what ties this build together is Getaway Artist. Now this has been really popular in former seasons and its main focus is going to be that arc soul it generates for you. And this really ties in with what people really discovered when Prismatic came out, is the fact that you can run Bleak Watcher and also get an arc soul, which is really good because not only are you going to be getting kills, but you're going to be proccing your Devour from your arc soul's ability kills, all your Strand Arcane needles, and obviously using your Phoenix Dive and everything to basically keep you constantly healing, almost like you're never dying. Now, the main thing is that Getaway Artist, creates the stasis turrets, which is in turn freezing things that you can shoot with your Icebreaker. Really OP. Now, getting into the fragments. Starting off, this is a really base in most builds, is the faceted protection. This is just going to be really good for DR. I mean, you can also swap this out with, depending on what weapons you're using, which I'll go into next, with faceted command, which will suppress targets or freezing them is going to give you more stability, aim assist, and all that stuff. And also creating a stasis shard, which is arguably better than this. I just personally have this on for this. And then this, which is probably the most important part of your build in terms of fragments, is going to be increasing the size and damage when you shatter a stasis crystal and increases the area of effective solar ignitions, which is just pretty much tying exactly in with your catalyst and your exotic trait. So this is really important. I would say the most important part of this in terms of all your fragments. Everything else is really interchangeable. But I go with melee final blow start health regeneration because that with arcane needle is just pretty much free devour proc anytime I need it. As long as facet of dawn, which makes me radiant, so I can pop on barriers or unstoppables or whatever without even needing the artifact, which I'll also go into next. And a facet of hope, which is really important because you're going to always have Devour with this and Arc Soul and all that stuff. So you want to just have your Phoenix Dive pretty much be pumping out, which I'll also explain with some armor mods is helpful in regenerating grenade ammo, which we'll be moving to our next part, weapons. So honestly, any stasis primary is good. I mean, you can even get away with using a call, but I would say the best option right now is going to be like a primary. You could change this out with Fatebringer. Something with Headstone, honestly, is the main thing. So you could just generate shit to shoot at with your Icebreaker. And then for your grenade launcher, Edge Transit, I'm using this one because it's a new 150 round per minute. I definitely recommend trying to get a bait and switch roll with it. I haven't gotten the God roll yet, but when I do get the God roll, I'm going to make a video about it. It's really awesome, this grenade launcher, because of the 150 rounds per minute. But I mean, Edge Transit is great with Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch, and Backup Mag. You can't really get better than that if you're just going for a GL. But yeah, I have double stasis and a solar, and it works really well with your prismatic, because you're going to be getting a lot of chain kills, so don't worry about light, especially with your arc soul as well. I mean, it's just free prismatic energy, and having this stasis primary or any darkness primary is probably going to work in your favor. But like I said, recommend something with headstone on. You could even put on like Quillam's Terminus or something like that if you have it crafted. It'll work. It just is to pretty much generate headstones for that Icebreaker, so you could just keep popping that on top of your stasis turret. So yeah, you're just causing a shitload of ignitions. You're blowing everything up. So now we're gonna get into our artifact. So there's like just a couple really main perks that I just choose, and this is based on like what I like when I'm playing. But these are all interchangeable. Overload works though, because special and heavy grenade launcher. But I mean, Killing Breeze is really good because rapid weapon final blows grant you a bonus to mobility. You can also put on one with the frost. Because stasis weapons, when you have frost armor, gains increased reload and stability. These two aren't really that important. But I usually use Power from Pain because I just want even more shit to proc Devour. So I'm constantly having Devour. But you can also do Crystalline Converter, stasis melee hits. That's really based if you have stasis melee hits. But I don't have a stasis melee, so I don't use this. So I use Wind Chill, rapid stasis weapon precision hits grant you a stack of frost armor. That ties in with my hand cannon. I just generate a bunch of stasis crystals and ammos, and I just get all that shit. Armor of Aramis, while frost armor is active, taking critical damage emits a freezing burst. You're freezing more stuff. Shattering stasis crystals releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. This is really important. So I would say Hail the Storm, Power from Pain, and Brain Freeze are going to be really important. Some people do this stuff and that, but I mean, you could also do this if you want to generate even more class ability. But I just have this because I want the my grenade launcher whenever I use it to kill ads as well. But the main three perks that are just going to be helpful for this build in particular are Brain Freeze, Hail the Storm, and Power from Pain. I definitely recommend those. If you're using like an arc primary, you could get away with this. But it's going to be consuming one of your armor charges. The artifact, it's not fully complete this season, so once it is better, I'll probably also make an updated video on that at least. But yeah, probably won't happen for a while. Next part, armor mods. Now moving on to armor mods. We're going to start off with our helmet. Pretty much the main thing is Harmonic Siphon. I'll explain super last, but yeah, you're going to be using the Song of Flame. And basically what this ties in, as well as a harmonic targeting, is it's just easier to aim ADS with the Icebreaker, and you're gonna be generating hella orbs from chaining kills. If you want, you can reduce this to like recovery, or you could put on like strength or something like that, depending on your build. And you can do a stasis siphon as well. I personally just do these, and then I have Dynamo on, which is really important because it's gonna be another class ability mod, which you'll notice, and that ties in with the fragment because we're just going to be chaining supers by spamming our class ability, even if we don't need to heal. Now this is the gauntlets. We're obviously going to want stasis loader for our hand cannon and our grenade launcher because we got bait and switch on it and it shoots fast, and we're going to have momentum transfer and impact induction. Now you can really interchange this with grenade kickstart one of these if you really want to make sure you're just constantly having storm grenades. But in normal activities, like your stasis turrets hitting stuff and you blowing up a bunch of stuff with your Icebreaker is going to essentially chain enough storm grenade ammo to come back. Next thing, chest plate. We've got some unflinching harmonic aim, harmonic resistance, and sniper damage resistance. All this stuff is interchangeable. I know some people use emergency reinforcement or charged up. Either works. I just have trouble with snipers sometimes, so I don't want to be getting one shot. Now on your boots, you're going to want to have Innervation, and you're going to have a Stasis Surge and a Solar Surge. That way you're doing, both damage when you're doing Stasis and Solar Surge. You're doing maximum DPS with your grenade launcher when the time comes. And then for your class item, just bombers and distribution. reduces all ability cooldowns and using your class ability near targets. You know, another class ability thing. So one thing you'll notice with this build is, you know, you're relying on using your class ability when you need to heal your teammates. You could use Healing Rift or whatever. I just use Phoenix Dive because it's quick and accessible. And you're using Song of Flame, so you can get all those harmonic siphons and all that, and it's cheaper on your mods. But also just because Song of Flame is awesome and works really well with your stasis turrets. And yet again, you have Facet of Ruin on, which is when you blow them up, you know, it's going to be going crazy. So, you know, tying in with your weapons and stuff, this build is really solid for ad clear and just making sure you're just killing everything. Definitely recommend it. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be doing a new exotic pretty much build with the new exotic that came out when I get it. Anyways, enjoy, guys.